everybody. How we doing? Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now Studios on this alert day. First one we've had in a while. I didn't feel good adding it this morning, but we had some rough storms roll through, at least for some of you. I've seen your chatter on Facebook. You're already complaining that some of you didn't see anything. I get it. It's July. That means these storms are not going to hit everybody. But those of you that did deal with these storms today, well, might have to clean up a little bit. We're going to walk you through just a few of the damage reports we've had so far. Nothing major, let's be clear. Nothing major at all, but there could be some minor impacts you're heading out on your Saturday evening. We'll talk about that. We'll recap some of the wind numbers we saw today, and we'll talk about more storminess for Sunday, although not as much as today. And tomorrow was not an alert day either. So let's just jump right into radar, show you where things stand now. And we're really quieting things down. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to get rid of the alert day once I'm done with this live stream. I think we're in good shape for the rest of the evening when it comes to the risk for gusty winds or severe weather. But you notice there are certainly some storms still out there tonight. The main action that we've had was this band of thunderstorms that is still hanging on, albeit quite a bit weaker than it was earlier, but it's about to move out of Franklin County, if it hasn't already, crossing over the Interstate 75 corridor tonight between Cincinnati and getting close down towards Richmond and Berea. You kind of notice the tail of that initial band of storms is still hanging on in parts of Marion and Taylor County. These are no longer producing, excuse me, those wind gusts that are near severe criteria. But if you're down north of Campbellsville, over Lebanon, near Gravel Switch there in parts of Marion and Taylor County, you're still seeing a lot of heavy rain, probably hearing quite a bit of thunder as well. And we'll just kind of babysit those storms, if you will, over the next, I'd say 15 or 30 minutes. And then that should be out of here. Again, there is no tornado threat today. A lot of you have asked about that. Zero, zip, zilch, nada. We're good when it comes to tornadoes. And even then, I really think the main issue for the rest of the night is just going to be heavy rain and lightning. So that's where the initial band of storms is. Further off to the west, however, there are still some stronger storms. Especially down in southwest Kentucky. Got a severe thunderstorm warning in place for areas east of Paducah for Marshall County. There was a severe thunderstorm warning for Paducah earlier with this storm. It's about to go right over land between the lakes. So if you know anybody camping out at LBL, might want to give them a call or text them as this storm rolls in. Make sure they're off the water. And most of this storm action is going to stay south of us this evening and overnight tonight. I'll put the radar in a loop. Let's do the last hour since we're looking at a different radar. And you can see, well, let's try that again. Come on now. There we go. So you can see a couple things. First of all, look at that outflow boundary. This is an example, my friends, of what we had earlier this evening with the wind rolling through. It was not the storms themselves that had the wind. It was the outflow boundary gusting out ahead of those storms that caused 40, 50, 55 mile per hour wind gust earlier this afternoon and knocked down a few tree limbs, knocked down some power lines even in a few spots. We'll have a power outage number update for you here as well tonight. And it was that outflow boundary that kind of caused all the issues. As these storms collapse, you get a big gust of wind that runs out ahead of them, and that's what caused the trouble. So down to our south, you see the storms continue. We will watch these, especially near Bowling Green and Morgantown. They may clip Hart, Greene, Taylor, Adair counties this evening. They will likely not be strong. They'll just be heavy rain and lightning makers as the evening wears on. So that's kind of where things stand for now. We'll go back to the home view, and you can see here the city still have some lighter rain falling. I know the golf tournament has been plagued with delays today. I believe they're going to try to squeeze in another hour and a half of golf before it gets too dark. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But some lighter rain continues to fall here in the city. Another shower moving back into Du Bois County, into Jasper. That was a decent little thunderstorm about 30 minutes ago, but it has since faded away. And in general, we're looking pretty quiet the rest of the evening, aside from these thunderstorms, as I mentioned, near Bowling Green, that may sneak into our southern counties as the evening goes along. Let's go to the comments. I've been rambling too long already. Some of you are probably already complaining. Scott says, hey. Blue says, hey. Storms were indeed super windy. Michael C. Wells, what's up? Hope all's well. Are we in the clear? Pretty much. I got the alert day in place, quite frankly, because I forgot to turn off the button before we got going here. But I will probably get rid of the alert day as soon as we're done with this live stream. So, looking pretty good. We'll just have to watch those storms in our southern counties. Shouldn't be a big deal. I think our wind threat is done for the night. ZK says hello. Kathy, didn't get so lucky in Fredericksburg today. I'm sorry, Kathy. You know, it's just this time of year. It can look so good on radar. You're definitely going to get a huge amount of rain with this thunderstorm coming in. And then those outflow boundaries develop. That means the storms are collapsing, they're weakening, and you barely get a drop of rain. Yeah, it stinks. Sorry about that, Kathy. But there are plenty more storm chances ahead. Anita, thank you for your countdown. Appreciate it. 74 days away till fall. That gives me so much motivation, Anita. You have no idea. Especially on these stormy days like today. So hope all's well for you. Kelly says hi. Michelle says hello. Tina on YouTube says hello. Shonda, hello. That was a fierce little storm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And, you know, we never expected a huge severe weather outbreak today. It's just with that cold front starting to move closer to us, that gave the atmosphere a little more push for gusty winds, more than we typically see on a July day. So that's why I made the decision, out of an abundance of caution, to flag the alert date today. Quite honestly, I expected to see numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, but that was not the case. But today's a good example that you don't have to have warnings to have some issues, as we have seen so far this evening. DJ King, how we doing up there in North Vernon? Hope all's well. Let's see. Jackson had the neighbor's trash can blow over and spill everywhere. That's the worst. When your trash can or your neighbor's trash can goes flying down the street and all their junk is spewed all over your front yard or something. That's no fun. Let's see. We'll get back to our discussion here in just a moment. Nikki, hello. We're looking at another round of rain tonight. Some of those showers and storms I showed you in western Kentucky, they may hold on long enough to move into our area this evening, and especially overnight tonight, and give us a few showers. But the thunderstorm threat is starting to wind down. If we're going to see any thunderstorms tonight, it would be in our far southern counties, Hart, Green, Taylor, Adair, and they would not be severe. So I think any rain chances from here on out tonight would just be lighter showers that not everybody would see. Not everybody would see. Let's see. All right, so we're good on the comments, it looks like, so let's keep the chat going, shall we? Here's the MPing reports. What the heck is MPing? Well, it's an app you can download on your phone, and you could submit your own damage reports. And the way we have our computers configured here at Wave, we get those MPing notifications, those reports that you send in on that app, right into our system. So that is a totally free service. We recommend it. It gives us really a faster way to assess any reports in stormy situations. And you can see two concentrated areas of those reports today, one of which obviously in the metro. These are damage reports, and we're talking about tree limbs, you know, power lines, trash cans, things like that. And you can see a handful of trees down, tree limbs down. A couple trees are actually uprooted in a few spots today. Had one concentrated area right over the metro as those storms moved in just after 5 o'clock. And then you had another one in Du Bois County, right as these storms were moving in early this afternoon, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. That was where we had wind gusts measured around 56 miles an hour in Huntingburg, in Du Bois County. So we got close to severe storm criteria, which is 58 miles per hour, a couple miles per hour short. But obviously, we still had some issues. Speaking of the wind here in the metro, Ali International Airport, you see that little icon right there, had a confirmed wind gust around 5:23 tonight of 54 miles per hour, right as that outflow boundary was moving through. And that's likely what caused those storms to knock down some tree limbs and power lines in a few spots. Speaking of, here are the power outages. Again, this is not a huge power outage event, but there are some sporadic areas that have issues. Let's start with the metro. LG&E reporting about 2,500 customers without power at the moment. Most of those are confined to northeastern Jefferson County, from what I have seen. Let me pull up the maps separately so I can make sure I'm leading you guys the right way here. There were some outages in northeast Jefferson County from pop-up storms earlier today, around 1:30, 2 o'clock. And those knocked down a few tree limbs in the Willow Creek subdivision, right there along Highway 22 as you're about to cross into Oldham County. That was earlier today. And right now, the outages are fairly widespread. Nothing... we're not talking about half the county or anything like that, but especially in the northeastern part of the county up towards Linden, Prospect, Springhurst, and then going up into Oldham County. That's where most of the outages are at the moment. So about 2,500 without power in Jefferson County. We'll go to Oldham County. About 350, 1.6%. Clark County, we had numerous reports of power lines down in Clark County with these storms, especially in Charlestown and Jeffersonville. Clarksville had one or two power lines down as well. And that's where we have almost 2,400 customers without power up there in Clark County. Up towards Madison, Jefferson County, Indiana, about 300 customers. Jennings County, up near DJ King's house, about 90 customers without power up there. We'll look at Bullitt County real quick before we move along here. Close to 600 without power in Bullitt County. And again, these are largely because of tree limbs that have fallen on those power lines. Although, as we mentioned, there were a few places where those power lines were knocked down earlier this evening with those storms that rolled through. But again, we're starting to wind things down. And you know, a lot of you have said, what storms are you talking about? I didn't get anything at my house. Well, many people did. Like Joanne, she sent in this photo from E-Town. Check out the rain, just sheets of rain blowing out from her patio onto what looks like a pond or a river of some sort, maybe a lake, but just goes to show you how intense that outflow boundary was earlier this evening. Thanks to Joanne for posting that on the Wave Weather Facebook page. Another photo, this is from Amanda. Amanda didn't post her location. That's okay, no big deal. But you can kind of see what we've been dealing with these tree limbs getting snapped in a few spots earlier today. And then you have some folks like Dennis. Sorry, Dennis. Klondike only got 50 drops of rain, nearly 50 drops of rain, 5-0. Dennis, I don't know if you counted specifically those number of drops of rain, but guys, this is just the way it works around here this time of year. I guess we can keep saying it, but some people just won't listen. not everybody's going to see storms on a summer day, even on an alert day, summer day like this, where the storm chances are higher. Some of you will get missed. These storms have a mind of their own, where you have to figure out when will they start to collapse, when will they start to weaken, and how long does it take for those storms to weaken and go away. And it looked like throughout the day today, if those storms would start to fall apart as they got into Louisville, sure enough, that happened. Which means some of you, like our friend Dennis, didn't get to see any rain today. But there are plenty more rain chances ahead. And the reason why, as you look at the big picture tonight, is this front stretches from Chicago to St. Louis. So what we had storm-wise tonight was kind of a disturbance in the atmosphere ahead of the front. The front's not here yet. It's going to get here overnight tonight. Since it's not the heat of the day, we don't really have to worry about anything overnight tonight other than a couple showers. No big deal. But as that front gets here, it's going to settle down right along the Ohio, basically, right along the Ohio River. And since it's going to be hanging around nearby, that's going to keep the scattered storm chances around. The big difference, though, is that front's not going to have as much of a push, not as much of a force with it, and that means the risk for damaging wind gusts is lower tomorrow, much lower. Tomorrow's not an alert day. Could we have one or two storms that have some wind tomorrow afternoon? Yes. Is it going to be as widespread as what we saw today? No, not at all. But that front is going to be stubborn, as are most fronts this time of year. It's not really going to go anywhere. And that means we keep this unsettled weather pattern around for the week ahead. That's the live view of Bardstown, where we are drying out after a quick storm rolled through there around, what was it? About 6:15, 6:30, when those storms started to move into Bardstown. They pushed on out. It's cooled us down nicely, right? Here in Louisville, it's 77 after we got up to 94 earlier this afternoon. We went from 94 to 74 in about 10 minutes at Ollie International as these storms rolled in, as the outflow boundary rolled in too. So yeah, big time temperature drop, and I don't think many people will complain about that. Here's Futurecast doing a nice job pinpointing how the rest of the night's going to unfold. You got storms to the east that we showed you out near Lexington and Richmond. You got storms to the south down near Bowling Green, and those will just kind of work their way around us this evening. I'll keep a small storm chance in southern Kentucky through about 10 o'clock. The alert day will be gone. But we'll keep a small chance for an isolated storm in our southern counties this evening through about 10. And then you notice overnight tonight, other than a quick passing shower, we're in good shape. Lows will be in the 70s, so still muggy, still warm. Dry, however, as we go through the night tonight. More specifically, 74, that forecast low. Storms fade, a few showers linger. It's about a 20% chance for a passing shower overnight tonight. All right, let's talk about Sunday. I don't know why that bar is red. I'll fix that later. Tomorrow's not an alert day. Sorry about that little glitch there. But you notice the scattered storms will peak tomorrow between, let's say, 3 or 4 o'clock and go until about 10 or 11 p.m. with that highest chance for showers and storms. And again, there's not going to be as many storms tomorrow, and there's not as much of a force in the atmosphere for strong to severe storms like we had today. So tomorrow is much more of a classic summer day. All right, we've got some chippiness going on YouTube, so we're going to stop that right now. We're just going to put some people in timeout and be done with it. All right, there we go. Be nice, guys. Be nice on social media. Talk to people like you would talk to them face to face, please. Thank you. Anyway, storm chances for Sunday. Not nearly as high. It's more of a typical summer day where you're going to have those scattered showers and storms during the afternoon and during the evening. Some of you will get missed. So if you're complaining that you didn't see storms today, well, that's summer. You're going to get missed sometimes, and you might get missed again tomorrow. I can't control that. It is what it is. But you notice tomorrow morning on Futurecast, we're quiet. And as we head into the afternoon, 3 or 4 p.m., like clockwork, those scattered storms start to fire up. Notice how some of you will get missed. Some of you will get missed. Don't get mad at us for it. We don't control it. Some of you will get a quick, heavy downpour. The last 15, 30 minutes drops a quick quarter, maybe half inch of rain. Some of you will not see a thing. But we'll keep those scattered storms around tomorrow afternoon, maybe as early as 2 o'clock. But I really think past 4 o'clock is when those storms become more widespread. And you notice those storm chances continue into the evening. Tomorrow as another disturbance kind of rides along that stalled front that's right on top of us tomorrow evening. So we may have waves of thunderstorms into tomorrow night. Might wake you up with some thunder. Nothing severe expected. Most of those storms, however, should start to fade as we get into the overnight hours, Sunday night and early on Monday. So for the golf tournament, for the ISCO Championship. They're trying to get as much of the third round done now as they possibly can before it gets dark. So they're going to have to finish the third round in the morning. And then we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully we don't have too many weather delays tomorrow so they can get the whole tournament done tomorrow night. It'll be a close call. It'll all come down to whether or not we see those storms in the metro during the afternoon. If we don't, we should be okay. Get that tournament done. If not, we may have to wait until Monday. So we'll wait and see. All right, here comes the 10-day earliest alert. And we'll talk more about the long-term pattern tomorrow night when things are not quite as busy. But quite honestly, it's very much a copy and paste. Highs in the low to mid-90s all of next week, with those scattered storm chances every day. For the early part of the week, with that first front nearby, there will be some scattered storms, mainly in Kentucky. Looks like that front's going to settle close to I-64, and that would keep most of the storms confined to our Kentucky counties Monday and Tuesday. The second half of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, another front starts to move in, and that front might be a little stronger, which means we'll have more of those showers and storms to deal with for the second half of the week. Maybe the risk for a few stronger storms, too early to get into the specifics at this point for that. And I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful by next weekend into the following week, we can get that second front clear, or at least mostly clear from wave country. And that would give us a few downpours, mainly to our south, but a lot of us stay dry. Not much of a cool down, but hopefully drier as we get towards next weekend. Fingers crossed. We will wait and see how that plays out. A lot of times this year, these fronts don't go as far south as the models suggest they do, because the atmosphere, quite honestly, is really sluggish in July. So that might be a situation where the front gets hung up and we have to increase those storm chances for next weekend. I'm not ready to do that just yet, but that is a trend that some models are trying to pick out tonight, so we'll wait and see. Until then, though, we'll just keep those scattered storm chances around now through Friday, with the higher storm chances for the second half of the week ahead. All right. Comments? Any last minute thoughts before we go? Everybody good on YouTube? Y'all good? Somebody was driving y'all crazy, it looked like. We put them in timeout. Let's see. Chris asking, any hail with the storms today? No, no hail. Not a good environment for hail, mainly because the air above our heads is so warm. You need the air to be a little colder, quite a bit colder actually, to get some hail. But did not have that today. Good thing, right? Shonda, get him. Yeah, I don't like doing that, but I swear sometimes with some people we get in these comments, I love the interactions, but sometimes these comments I have to act like a elementary school teacher or something. Put everybody in timeout. It's ridiculous. We're all adults here. Let's see, Sean. Facebook is better. Well, to each their own. We'll bring in anybody wherever you're watching. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We got you covered, but you got bad apples on all of them. It is what it is. Let's see. All right. We all good? Cool. Let's see, a couple more. Braden, when will the alert day expire? It will expire. I had it originally set to 10 o'clock, but it's obvious now that the storm chances are winding down. So quite honestly, as soon as I get back into the office, once I sign off this video, I'm going to end the alert day. So we're good to go for the rest of the night. Still maybe some thunder, especially in southern Kentucky, and all of us may see a passing shower through the overnight. But the wind threat that was the reason why we had the alert day has come to an end. So we're good to go on that front. Let's see. Noodlehead on YouTube says thanks. Of course, that's what we're here for. Crispy's watching. Hello, hello. Anything coming for the rest of the evening? Yeah, we just mentioned it. You know, watching for some thunder in Kentucky, southern Kentucky. Other than that, maybe a passing shower for the rest of the night, and that's it. Any more alert days coming? Austin asks. Potentially the end of the work week. I think if we're going to have any more, it would be that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday window, specifically Thursday, because we mentioned this front's going to be a little stronger. The late week front, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday front, it's going to be a little stronger than the one we're dealing with now. So that might give us a little more of a wind concern by the end of the week. Doesn't look like a big deal right now, but that could change and evolve in the next 4 or 5 days. So right now, if we're going to have any more alert days, it would likely be sometime late next week. Adam, what's the deal with the cool down coming? Well, it's not much. We were hopeful that we might be talking about highs in the mid-80s for a few of you next weekend. I'm not really seeing it anymore. I think most of us will be in the upper 80s to low 90s next weekend. But what you will notice, if that second front can move through the region, then we might have less humidity, which would be a good thing. That would probably be the most noticeable thing. And that's really the most noticeable thing with any fronts this time of year, is slightly lower humidity. But yeah, not a huge cool down on the way, unfortunately. 74 days till fall, like Anita said. So we're getting there. Kathy, thanks for the updates, of course. That's what we're here for. Shonda says thanks. Glad to do it, as always. Don't mind at all. I love it. I love talking to you guys. Blue, we're all friends, but somebody came in grumpy tonight. You know what? I get it. I get it. I come into work plenty of times and I'm grumpy mainly because I just want to sleep. Right? We all do that. It is what it is. Let's see. All right. That's going to do it for tonight, guys. So yeah, the alert day is going to be dropped once this live stream comes to an end. The severe threat is over. But we will monitor for maybe some thunderstorms to still try to sneak into our southern Kentucky counties. Otherwise, for the rest of this evening, just a quick shower chance, and that's about it. We appreciate you watching as always, guys. We will be back on TV tonight at 11 on Wave News. Hope you'll tune in then. If not, you can catch me on Sunrise Sunday morning or right back here in the Wave Weather Now studios tomorrow evening at around 7:15 for our nightly weather chat. Appreciate you guys as always. Take care of yourselves. Watch out for some of those tree limbs that are down, especially here in Louisville, Clark County, Oldham County, and out in DuBois County as well. It's where most of the tree limb damage has been so far. Otherwise, enjoy your Saturday night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.